In this video, we are going to see about the developing capacity alternatives and the evaluating alternatives for capacity planning. In the previous videos, we have seen about what is capacity planning, right? Capacity and location planning is the module. Here, capacity is the how much we are able to produce by a facility. We will call it as capacity. There are two or three different varieties. We have said that design capacity, effective capacity, and finally actual capacity, right? Whatever it may be, the capacity is needed, capacity planning is needed for future demands, right? So once we are planning for a future demand, then what first we should know whether we can produce the component in time or not. So capacity planning is must before making a schedule, before giving to the that's what as per the forecasting demand, whether we can make it or not. First we have to do, we have self evaluate. That's the important term here. So we are self evaluating our capacity, how much we can produce, right? So once if it is done and we come to know that there is some mismatching between the forecasting and the capacity planning, maybe your capacity may be a good more than that demand, then what are the decision to be taken? If your capacity is less than the demand, what we have to do it, right? So as we already seen in the last videos, we are having some strategies, we are following some strategies to make the capacity planning. That is what it should be. Comparatively, we are comparing with the demand, and we are taking some measures to improve the capacity or to keep our production as a smoother way. So here, that's what we are having some alternatives measures, what we can do it if there is a deviation in this uh, demand and capacity. So normally we are having a design flexibility into the system. Designing a flexibility into the system is, we are thinking how to develop this facility into a into improving more number of components. Normally what we are having is, from that we are deciding the capacity, but to meet the demand, what we can do, we can change the flexibility of the system. So the flexibility of the system means the facility should be able to do some more number of more designs like that. So just like a modular kitchen, a modular design. So one single facility, if able to do multiple functions, just like in the gym, if you see one machine will have more number of functions, we can do it, right? So like that our facility, if we improve, then automatically the productivity can be improved more. And the differentiating between the new and mature product or services, a product life cycle. So here we have to concentrate, pay attention to the product life cycle. That's the thing is, when a product is delivered, and the product life cycle starts from the raw material and ends with its lifetime. So until that we are following it, whether after it is delivered to the customer, we are following the customer, we are servicing to the customer. And once that is lifetime of the product is over, then we can get it back, and for the further utilization, then it can be used at maximum level. What are the sub components of the product, we can be removed and it will be useful, that can we can do it, so that it will increase your output of the company. And a big picture approach to the capacity changes never loss overall to get a small gain. Yeah. So normally if the demand for the next week or next month is more, then what will you, what normally we will plan to improve our productivity, isn't it? So if you improve the productivity and your system is not supporting for it, your machines are not able to produce more, then what we will do, if you want For that, you should not buy a new machine. Okay, you should not buy new machines and equipments for only for 1 or 2 months demand. So that is, if you do that mistake, then it is not a proper alternative. So alternatives, if demand is more, immediately we have to plan for some other way, and we should not invest more for 1 or 2 months demands. If function is the demand will be continuous, then we may try to do some new investments, otherwise it's a waste. Like that, we have to before we are starting this industry itself, we have to plan for breakdowns also. All the machines, we cannot expect everything is function continuously. So one or other day it may get breakdowns. So we should be prepared for that breakdowns, and for making the capacity more and more, how much we can do it, even though if it gets breakdown. So in that way we have to think about the capacity alternative way to meet the demand. Okay, and suppose in case if there is any problem comes, then how it we have to do attempting smooth outcome capacity requirements through subcontract or shifts. Normally alternative methods are like this: when demand is more and our capacity is less of the machine capacity, then we have to do more number of shifts. Instead of conducting only one shift, we can go for two shifts or three shifts per day, so that your you can production will be more, and you can they meet the demand easily. Or else, in case if you, even though if you are unable to do more than two shifts, and you can go for a subcontracting nearby companies, you have a deal with them, and you give the raw material to them, get the work from them, you can pay only for the work. That also, for getting our components demand in outside, we have to go follow through all the things. And the inventory control is very very important, that whenever the material is available, then only we can do the product. If the demand is more, the continuous flow of material should be there. There is any short down in the inventory, that is a raw material, then our products we cannot produce it. So we have to concentrate on these things when the demand is more, when we compare with the capacity. So first thing is flexibility into the system, that is facility should be able to change its product. When we require more, it has to produce more, and when we do less, it has to control. And that's what the system changes we have to make it. And new product life cycle we have to check it. Small, to get a small gain, we should not go for a bigger loss in future. Okay, these are all the points. And moreover, evaluating alternatives. So once the alternative is decided, so whether it is correct or not, we have to evaluate whether how much the possibility over there, and in what way it can help it, where we can use it. So that the present value analysis is value analysis. So the value itself, it says where the cost involves. So maximizing the profit or minimizing the loss. So what is the present value thing, so wherever the cost is there involved, then this present value analysis method will be useful. And aggregate planning. So aggregate planning is normally it will help for planning for the raw materials, and it will plan for how to examine all the things. So scheduling before going for it. So the planning will be helpful for medium on the long term process. And break even analysis. The break even analysis is break even point. We are going to find the break even point. That means where this loss, profit and loss or equalize, at which point we will get benefits. That is the loss or gain. There is a no point, no, the point where there is no loss, no gain. To achieve that, we have to go for break even analysis. Minimum number of components, how much we can or we should make. Okay, this break even analysis will give you how many number of components you should make for getting no loss or no profit margin. That is the thing here, break even analysis. For break even analysis, we need some important thing elements, that fixed cost, variable cost. Okay, so this fixed cost and variable cost, and the sales volume, sales revenues, these all needed for calculating this break even analysis. And linear programming, so this is one type of evaluating alternative, that linear programming will give this how much it is a possibility of doing capacity planning, and even for forecasting everywhere. This linear programming will help you, and determining the producting mixing. Suppose in case of one product, what are the two or three products are doing, we are doing two or three products, or two or three machines are working, then how to maximize the profit, how to minimize the loss, these and all it will be taken care. We can do it with the help of linear programming methodology. And decision tree analysis also, it's used for having a good decision for the capacity alternative. So this is the two important topic we have seen: how to develop capacity alternative and how to evaluate the alternative. So we are finding some problems with these types, and first of all we have to analyze which is the best method, and using the method we are finding the capacity, then we are going to implement it. Okay, so in this video we have seen that determinants, developing of capacity alternative, and the evaluating the alternatives we are seeing, right? Okay. Thank you.